What's going on YouTube? West Hobbies RC. So today we are back with the Goosky S2, but we are going to do the radio setup. So we will be flying on a Spektrum IX12. That is what we are going to be binding to. We will need a DSMX satellite, and we have a little 6-inch extension here, and we have the Goosky S2. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this upper canopy off, get ready to show you where to plug in your satellite. I'm gonna try to put the satellite probably down here, so that way it is up and out of the way, so we'll figure out where to put that. I don't want to put it on top of the FBL unit because I think that just looks bad. So we'll figure out. I'll try to get it down here somewhere, get the antennas out the back, and then we'll run the wire up, get that plugged in. We'll go through programming the radio and download that app and see what that is like. Alright, so I went ahead and ran the satellite. So I put the satellite down here, put a little bit of heat shrink on there to control the wires, ran the wire up behind, pulled the servo out, ran the wire behind the servo, tied it in with this junction of servo wires, and ran it up to the DSMX port right there. So now, if you guys are using a DSMX satellite that does not have a bind button, this one does not. It's an older satellite, no bind button. You cannot bind through the actual FBL unit. So there's no way to bind that satellite through here. So what you're gonna have to do is get yourself a regular receiver. This is a receiver I use for bench testing. It's old, will never go in anything. But you plug in your DSMX satellite into the receiver, and you bind the receiver to your transmitter. And then once you are binded, you unplug your DSMX satellite and you plug it right back into the FBL unit, and then you turn your radio on, you're good to go. So if you buy one with the button, you don't have to do that. You can just push the button through binding procedure, but if you don't have a button, that's how you can bind your satellite to the radio. You have to bind through a separate receiver. But now that we got that out of the way, let's start the radio setup. Alright, so I went ahead and already created a new model. I still have to add a picture, but just put in Goosky S2. So of course you're going to set your model up as a helicopter. We're going to go into model adjust here, and we are going to go into pitch curve first. And it's going to be a very basic setup. Okay, so for pitch curve normal, I'm going to run a 30, 40, 50, 75, 100 kind of thing, just so normal mode doesn't have a lot of pitch in it. Just kind of want to flatten that curve out a little bit, and then just rest normal 50, 75, 100. And then for normal, or for idle up 1, it's going to be a linear curve.
Normal, stunt 2.
Stunt 2, linear curve, 0, 25, 50, 75, 100.
Normal.
So that's going to be all we do for pitch curve. Now throttle curve. Normal mode, we're going to do a flat curve, of course, and we're probably going to do 40-ish%. So we'll start with 45%. That's where we're going to go by. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody set this model up on a Spektrum radio yet, so it'll all be testing and tuning, but I think 45% for normal mode should be really good. I don't see why we would need any more, any less. We're going to drop this down to 45%. Okay, and then the same, drop this guy down to 45%. Oop, we went too far. Alright, and then for stunt 1, flat curve again, but let's go to, we're going to go 60%, 65. We're going to go 65% all the way across.
Timer start.
We'll fix the timer. So we're going to do a 65% curve all the way across, flat curve. Okay, so 65% flat curve in stunt 1.
Stunt 2.
In stunt 2, we're going to do a 90.
Timer start.
We're going to do a 90% flat curve all the way across. Again, this might be too much, too less, little, I don't know. We will know when we fly it, because again, I have yet to see a setup video on a Spektrum style radio. I've also been working on a rescue that is
Time remaining 4 minutes.
almost done for Spektrum for any of these that will give you like mimic the Radio Master rescue. So as soon as I get some tests on that and I'm happy with it, I will be making a video on how to set up rescue on a Spektrum transmitter. And not a rescue that just uses normal mode. Okay, 90%,
Stunt 1.
65,
Timer stop.
45. So that's where we're
Stunt
going to
2.
set it.
Normal.
We're done here. Now, servo setup, this is a personal choice as far as travel, or not travel, I'm sorry, as far as Expo. So if you want to run Expo, you can run Expo. That is 100%. If you want to create dual rates, you guys go ahead and do that. I am a 100% rate person. The faster the helicopter can respond, the better. So now on gyro, we're going to leave it inhibited. It's going to be a very basic radio setup. I mean, that's all we're going to have to do. And then we're going to go into timer. And we're going to readjust our timer. You're going to leave everything else alone. Oh, we need to set up hold. We'll do that too. But timer is going to be, we're going to do 4 minutes. And we're going to do it off of the hold switch.
Timer start.
No, I did it the wrong way. So when we flip off hold, timer starts.
Timer stop.
Timer stops.
Timer start.
Basically, so when you flip hold,
Timer stop.
timer is holding there. When you flip hold
Timer
off,
start.
you're good to go. 4-minute timer. Very simple. Flight mode setup. We're going to go into here, and we are going to set hold mode
Timer stop. Normal.
to our switch H, which is where I like hold. My flight modes are switch B, but it is a total preference on where you
Time
want your
remaining
switches.
3 minutes. Hold.
Okay, so we are pretty much done with the actual radio setup itself. So now we're going to move on to binding the model. So again, like we went over, we're going to need a separate receiver to bind because it is not a bind button DSMX receiver. So let's pull these blades off and be safe and bind. So we did pull the blades off, so we are safe. So now we're going to put it into binding mode. So we are going to go ahead and grab a separate power supply. This is my old trusty 2S 800 milliamp pack that has been through everything. We are going to power or plug in the DSMX satellite right into our separate receiver. We are going to plug power into our receiver. Okay, we got flashing. Satellite is flashing as well as receiver. We're going to grab our radio. We are going to put it into bind mode.
Binding.
Pull the radio away.
Bind complete DSM to 22 milliseconds.
Okay, now that the bind is complete, now you'll see it says DSM2, and that's because the receiver I have on hand is a DSM2. The satellite is a DSMX, but they're backwards compatible, so for now, it'll be DSM2. Whenever I find a DSMX satellite or receiver in my collection, I'll rebind it, but same principle. So now, make sure you undo your bind plug before you pull power, because if not, you're going to have to rebind. So now you are bound. We can unplug the satellite, and we are done with this external receiver and battery pack. So now you can go ahead, plug your DSMX, DSM2 satellite back in to the FBL unit. We are plugged back in. We can plug power in now. So this will be the first time we're powering the model up. It's powered up. Let it initialize. The DSMX receiver is flashing just because we took power and then gave it back. So now everything initialized. Forward, backwards, left, right. Hold mode is on. Positive pitch, negative pitch. Everything is working like it should. No need to reverse any of the servos. Servos are super fast and smooth. So now let's flip hold mode off.
Normal.
Normal mode. Spool up. It's spooling up. Tail is very responsive. Full left stick. Motor just spinning. Now, one thing I do not hear is tally. So let me raise you guys up. So let's see something here. Come up more.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
Oh, yep, there it is. So we do have tally for those of you that are going to ask. You can hear it. All right, everything is working like it should.
Hold.
Hold mode's working. Flight modes are working. Left, right, back, forward, positive, negative, and you just seen the motor work. So everything is working like it should. So we are technically good to go fly. Now I'm gonna make a separate video on the app because I just found out that it only works with Android, and unfortunately I do not have an Android phone. So I might have to steal my grandpa's because he's old and stubborn and won't switch to an iPhone, and he still has an Android. But unfortunately for now, we cannot use the Android or the Bluetooth app. But if any programming is needed to be done, you can do it right here as well. But I was really hoping to play with the app to see what it was like. But now it is completely set up and it's ready to fly. So, and it looks like we do have self-leveling in normal mode. Okay, and then if we flip to idle 1, we're still in self-leveling. So we're gonna have to figure out, let me figure that out real quick because the gyro is not switching, so we might have to do a positive and negative 100. Okay, so that's exactly what it was. So if you watch, the gear channel has to be assigned. So negative 100 in idle up 2, idle up 1 is 0, normal is positive 100. So go into your model setup, go to channel assign. This is all you have to do to make the self-level and then go out work. Make sure gear is being assigned to switch B or whatever switch you are using for flight mode. And then go to port assignment and make sure that gear is gear. So all I had to do was go into input configuration and assign gear to switch B, which is my flight modes. If you want your self-level to be on a separate switch, you can do it that way too. But now when we go out, back to our main screen, and we let the helicopter initialize again, it's working. So now watch the FBL unit color change. Okay, so now we are in regular, and then if we flip into normal, it's going to try to self-level it. And you can see the colors. So if it's an auto level mode, it's going to be a blue and red light on. And normal or idle up 1 and idle up 2, which is no level auto level, it's going to be a blue with a red flashing. So now you're going to have your normal gyro to, stabilize it, but it's not going to try to hold it level. Or if you're in normal mode, which is auto level, it's going to try to level itself out. So now we got that fixed. So now it has every feature hooked up. Everything is working. We have auto level. We didn't have to reverse anything. Very simple and easy setup, as you guys seen. Super fast, super easy. Another way to test if it's working, watch your gear channel. So positive 100 is going to be auto level stabilize. 0 is going to be no auto level. Negative 100 again, no auto level. So that's all we had to do. Super fast, super simple. We are ready to fly now. So I'm going to go ahead and put a picture in the radio for the model, throw it back together, and as soon as it's daylight, we will be getting some test flights in. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Again, thank you to Goosky for sending me this model. And again, if you would like to purchase yours, you can go through helidirect.com and get yours on pre-order. Or if you're in another country and you would like to get one, I will link goosky.com in the description as well as Frank's email at Goosky, who's who I got the helicopter from. And you can email him and you can get yours that way. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helps some of you. Again, once I am happy with the Spektrum rescue feature that I've been working on, I will make a separate video on that, and it will work with all of these little helis. So you will get your rescue like you can with OMP. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Take care, and give this video a like, please, and subscribe. Have a great day.